This show is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Cyril B. Ramney Tertola Pier Park, NV Salon Spa Nail and Barbershop, the Wellness Center, Medical and Behavioral Health Clinics, Tittle Cross Deliciously Smooth Cider, HOV Medical and Digicel, simply more speed, reliability and entertainment. This is The Big Story 2023 General Elections Edition. I'm Kathy Richards. I want to thank you so much for joining us. With me in studio today is Mr. Henderson Tittle. He is one of the heads, the top man of male mentoring anointed leaders everywhere. Henderson, I want to thank you for being on this edition of our special features going through this period of the general elections here in the Virgin Islands.
Thank you, Kathy, for having me. And no, I'm not one of the candidates.
Well, thanks for making that very clear from the onset. But the reason why we have you on set, because like we will be doing with many others, is to get a feel from you the atmosphere that you are feeling right now as campaign season is on.
Well, I'm happy that we are at this stage. We have come to this crossroad. I want to say congratulations to all of our candidates, and I wish them all the best. Kathy, but I have a concern. My biggest concern is how we started to do business as usual when it comes to general election. This is not election like it used to be. It is not the same atmosphere. We are still under what we call investigation. We are still at the border. We are still at the crossroad. And how we conduct ourselves from here on will say a lot about us. It is not about me trying to find how much dirt I can get on you so I can throw it out there so that the people can hear how bad you were and you're not good. No, because when I find things about you, I'm also saying stuff, and the people are listening. From the abundance of the heart, the mouth will always speak. The youths, they're watching you, they're listening to you, and how you treat each other during this time. The level of respect that you display to each other, they're watching you. And if you think because you are at a point in your life now where you can say, you just can't say anything and feel, well, it's okay, because you don't know who is watching. You don't know who is listening. And I want to say to all of our candidates, please be mindful, be careful, be watchful. Watch what you are saying. This is not the time for us to stand divided. This is not the time for us to try and outdo each other. Your track record would have say a lot about you, and let that speak for you. We don't need to hear what the other person did, what they did. This is not the time for that, because we all have sin. I think we should be at the place where we are more of a repenting. We feel sorry for what we did. All of us are responsible. All of us. I heard a statement a couple of years ago: if we don't police ourselves, someone else will police us. And we have to be careful, because we can give ammunition to those who are listening and to those who are watching.
Why is this so important to you?
Because I have a lot of young folks who are saying to me, I am not going to vote. There's a lot of young folks who are saying, I'm not going to the poll because all of them are the same. Look how they're behaving again. I am not going to the poll. And I am saying, as we get close to general election, I am asking the candidates, please, conduct yourself in a decent and in an orderly manner, because we need to hear the issues. The issues, what are you bringing to the table? I don't need to hear what Cathy did and what Cathy did not do. What are you plan to do? What are you offering us? There's a shortage of nurses in our hospital. do you have a program where you're channeling the teens or the youths out of school into a nursing school so that we can have enough nurses here to take care of our healthcare system? What about those children who have been suspended or about to be expelled from school and they will be home? Do you have a program that will keep them busy during that time? What do you have to offer? That's what we need to know, and that's what we need to hear.
So what are you doing while what you are seeing is not very favorable to your ears and probably those around you, it's not very favorable to your ears. What are you doing to keep those very young people that you were talking about in that straight and narrow and guiding them towards going to the polls?
The thing is, I will encourage every young person at the age where you can cast your vote.
And at this stage, registered.
Right. Once you're registered and you can vote, but I'm talking about young folks who are registered, who have been to the poll already,
okay,
but are now turned off because of what they're seeing and what they're hearing. It's like there is a fight, go tit for tat, and you said this, I said that, and I know it's the nature of politics and election and campaigning, but this is not where we at this time. This is not the season. It is not the junction where we as individuals who live in the British Virgin Island, we know what's going on. We know what's over us. We know what almost happened to us. We almost lost our constitution. We almost lost so many things. And this point at the junction, if we are not careful, we can get run over. and I really mean that.
What are some of the things that you are hearing that you think that could cause the police to come down on our heads if it continues to be said?
If we continue talking the way we are talking,
what are some of these things? Help us to understand.
Well, you have to be wise also, because you're hearing folks talking about, for example, the greedy bill. Mm-hmm. And it's been rubbed in our face. It's been rubbed in our face. Some people are not comfortable. They're not comfortable in the sense where you have graduates with masters. And at the end of the year, those graduates with masters can't even carry home $50,000 at the end of the year. We have teachers who have not received their raise. We have civil servants who are still struggling to have ends meet. And here you are bragging about how much money you're getting after 2 terms, after 1 term, and for the rest of your life. It's like a pain, it's like a slap in the face for some of the folks who have made sacrifice, spend their money, they went to school, and it seems like you can just get an idea, decide to vote, and enter the contest, and people like you. This is not the time where we vote because of friends. This is not the time where we vote because I like you, or because me and you in the same club, or we hang out together on a Friday night. This is the time where we look for the individuals who are capable and who are qualified to take us from this junction into the next dimension, because that's where we're heading. And depends on which train we take, and depends on who we allow to run the train, we can find ourselves in some serious trouble. And I think this is the time where we sit and watch what we are saying, because what we are saying can be used against us. We don't need, after this election, like the last election, I've been here for several elections, over 30 years I'm living here, so I've passed through a lot of election, the concerned citizen with GM in the 4th district, Miss Smith in the 5th, I've been here, so I've seen it. But this is the time. It's different. It's different now.
All right. So let's come back to the greedy bill, as you would have alluded to. You brought it up, so let's have a chat. We would have heard of it on 2 platforms,
right?
2 opposing platforms. But the root of the particular greedy bill, this is something that is already passed in government.
Right.
One party is saying let's repeal it when we get into government. But it brings us back to the people. Before this bill was passed in the House of Assembly, there are some people who took the time to study it and to bring it to the fore, went around the territory on loudspeakers and talking to the people to come up and protest against it in the form it was. The people did give a little ear, and in short order, just a bit was changed. Nobody paid attention to the depth of the bill thereafter, and it was passed. Now it comes up again. Who really is to blame? Remember, you are the people who are voting, and you are the people who manages the government. What you say is what your government's supposed to do. So,
but that's how it's supposed to be, and this is where I'm turned off, because just before election, you're all in my face, you're loving on me, and as soon as the election is over, you find only a few of the candidates who remain with the people, who stick with the people. But as soon as the election is over, everybody is back to business as usual until the election again. And I have no problem in you making the laws and setting it up in such a way where you benefit after a certain amount of years you have put in your service and you're rewarded. I have no problem with that. But have a heart. Have some consideration, and if you're taking care of yourself, and this is where it hurts. If you're taking care of yourself, have you considered the teachers who have not received a raise? Have you considered the civil servants who've been knocking and who can't make ends meet because the money is funny? Have you taken that into consideration? So while you're passing the law to get this money and make sure that you're secure in yourself, in your future, which is good, why can't you secure the future of the people who allow you to secure your future? If the people are the one who allow you to secure your future, come on, man, when you get to the top, it's for you to send your hand down and help that other person get to a level, maybe not at the same level as you. It's okay. But at least, man, let some of the overflow fall on someone else. That's my only concern.
So how can the people determine, because you would have said that, people go in there, you think that they're good enough, and they go in there, and by the time they get in there, they forget you, and then you see them again until election period. What are the yardsticks that persons can use to assess and determine, look, this person, I find them good enough. No one is perfect, but good enough to go in there and stick there for the people of the territory and not treat us like dirt when they get up there.
The thing is, right, there are some protocols that they have to follow once they get in. And we respect that. We respect that you have to follow certain protocol, you have to do certain things. That's quite all right and normal. Not everyone, not all of them are operating in that manner. And I won't call any name, but there are some candidates who have stick with the folks in their district up to this point. They will still hang out with them. They will still laugh with them. They will still, and these are the things that you admire when you see after election. I don't hear much about you anymore. It's like you gone silent, and then all of a sudden you started to get voice again. No, but there are some people who are consistent, and we're looking for consistency, not somebody who will just promise us and just talk because we expect you to talk. And then when you're taking it to the level where you're not just talking about what you can contribute and what you're bringing to the table, but you're now talking so that you can make me look bad so that you can look good. You said it. All of us have sinned and fall short. And I think all of us need to apologize. All of the candidate whether incoming, whether new candidate, all of us, because we're all responsible. We did not hold some of our leaders accountable. And that's where the problem is. We allow some of our leaders to just, because they're our friends, they're our family, so we allow them. We trusted them. Some of them take advantage of our trust and our naiveness, if you can say that, because we trust them. And this is where the problem is, and that's why I'm saying this election is not an election like the election that we know. This is a whole different generation. Kathy, this generation that we're dealing with right now, they will take your fridge, they will take your money, they will take your television, and they will go to the poll and still vote you out, and still vote you in, or still move you. That's the generation. They're not interested in your gift. They're not interested in what you can give them. They're more interested in the opportunity that you're providing for them. That's the generation we're dealing with. What are you bringing to my table? What are you offering my generation?
In a long term.
What it is. Mm-hmm. What it is. Are you concerned about my generation, or you're just taking care of yourself and your immediate circle? What about me who sit outside the circle? What about me who is not in the box? Are you making provision for me also? And that's what the problem we're having. That's why this election is not like other election. I'm going to say to the candidates, please do me a favor. Do me a favor, please. Stop the picking, stop the fighting, stop the bashing, stop it. You might not see it as picking. You might not see it as bashing. But looking from the outside in, listening from the outside in, it sounds like that. For you, it might be like that. So please do me a favor for the rest of the campaigning season. Keep it clean, decent, and in order. And let me say that again. For the rest of the campaign season, do me a favor, please. The young people, they are listening to you. Keep it clean and make sure it's decent and in order, because after this election we have to live together, and that's the problem.
Yeah, and we're seeing situations where it seems as though families are being torn apart because of what is happening. We are all in this one home, but we all have different parties that we are supporting, or different individuals that we are supporting, and we're seeing that rift being, and it's being spewed even publicly.
And I'm saying to now the voters, don't allow this politics and this election to get between blood and family. Church brothers and sisters, please don't allow a party or a candidate to separate you from your brother, to separate you from. This is not the time. This is not the election where we fight against each other. This is the election where we look at the candidates, Kathy. Mm-hmm. I might not like some of the candidates, but they are the right person for the job. I might not support that candidate, but they are the right person for the job. This is what we need. We need the right people in the right place so that we can cross this junction. We are at a junction, and if we are not careful, we are going to get run over if we are not careful at this junction.
Do you think that within a short period of time, because like you would have said earlier, a lot of the candidates would have come out to the last minute, and given that we're under a month before general election, do you think it is enough time for persons to carefully assess the candidates and determine, like you are positing, this is the right person for the job?
Well, and that's why I said before, Kathy, their track record. We've been, the young people, they know, they know who you are. You don't have to tell them about the other person. They know, they have the other person file. You don't even have to give them the person file, because they've been watching you. They've been watching you, and this is the problem that we have as adults. We think that those young folks are not paying attention, and we're in for a surprise. We're in for a surprise because those young folks, they're watching every move we're making. And when they see you're telling me I must respect my elders, but you're disrespecting yours. You're telling me that I must respect that woman, but you're disrespecting that woman by the things you're saying. So the thing is, we and a lot of the young folks, they're not just looking at you from the time they announced the election was about to take place. They've been watching you. They know what you've been doing. They see what you've been doing. So they know exactly who they want to run this country. This election, we will see a surprise. We are in for a surprise because the youths that, once I could get them to vote and say, I'm not going to the poll. No, please, go to the poll. I'm not saying who you should vote for. You decide who you think is the best person to stand in the gap, and you make that decision. But don't stay home. Because if you stay home, then your voice is out. And we need your voice. So go and vote. I have 5. My wife have 5. My son have 5. My daughter have 5. So in my house, we have 20 votes. And I will never dictate to my son who to vote for. That's his choice. He will never try to influence me who to vote for. And we have made up in our mind as a family. Even if I decide to vote for somebody and you don't like that person, I'm your father, I'm your husband, and that's where it's going to stay. We are not going to allow no election, no politics to get between us. Please, don't allow that to happen to your family in this election. And please, candidate, conduct yourself, man. Conduct yourself. We're watching you. You want us to vote you? Behave yourself decently, man.
There is a fear that that this year may see the lowest turnout at the polls. You getting that sense?
That is my concern, and that's why I decide to. This is a plea to say to the young folks: go vote. Don't mind how they're behaving. Okay, you don't like how they're behaving. Choose the best out of what you have, but still go. But that's the feeling I'm getting. There's a lot of people who are saying, I don't want to vote. I don't want nothing to do with this. There are some civil servants who are upset because of, it seems like, what's going on? They forgot me. They're taking care of themselves. So what a sense me voting. But I'm saying go on and it's your right. It's your democratic right. Go to the poll and vote. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm not affiliated with no party. And I'm telling you the truth, Cathy. I am going to select some folks who I think and I believe are capable of running this country. So I have 4 at-large vote, and I'm going to use them, and I'm going to use them wisely. And I have 1 district vote. I'm going to use it, and I'm going to use it wisely. And I encourage every one of you to do the same. Go to the poll. Go to the poll. Once you register and you can vote, go to the poll and vote. Send a strong message. Select the people you need to take us from this junction. Because we are at this junction. And I don't want us to get run over because my grandchildren will be in trouble.
Finally, before we close off on this, I enjoy this conversation. This is what we need to be candid in, in what we see and what we feel. But the final thing is that we're seeing quite a number of new and young blood that are putting themselves forward. What do you think that even if they don't get in, what does this show you? What is it saying to you to see young and fresh people putting themselves up to become political leaders in this territory?
We are ready to take our country. We are ready to lead our country. That's what they're saying. Some of them are saying, we had enough. We had enough. We've been seeing years after years, and here I am going to make a difference. I mean, for some of the young ones who have just entered, this is what they're saying. This is what they said this. Look, I am going to make a difference because I don't like what I'm seeing. And I encourage them. And I applaud them. And I tell you this, Cathy, the day any one of those male members decide that they're going to run for office, I will be affiliated with a party. Because
I'm an independent.
I'm going to get behind my male boy. And I'm going to say, go boy. 100%.
Awesome, Edison. I thank you so much for sharing your heart with us. And these are the conversations that we need to hear. We need to hear from people like you, people who says that, you know, I'm not affiliated with any particular party. And even if you're affiliated with a particular political party, you that comfortable to say to others, do things in a certain way. This set of people are uncomfortable. You're affecting the young people by what you say in terms of what we call mudslinging and all of that. And so I respect you for that and continue to be that voice and that support and that advocate for the young people of this territory. We know that you are with male, and we know that your wife is with female, and that makes a good union. So both sides are covered. Thank you again for taking your time to be here on The Big Story. And thank you for sharing with us here your time on The Big Story 2023 General Elections Edition.
We know that where you choose to bank matters, and it is your vote on what your funds do in strengthening our community. As your official Bank of Paradise, we invest and support the lifeblood of our economy by helping in the realization of personal goals for homeownership, education, and entrepreneurial visions, which support small businesses. We make it our place to connect with persons and worthy causes, and we have been doing so for more than 30 years. Where your money goes and what your dollars empower are your choice. And we thank you for choosing us, a bank that gives where it matters the most, for you, for our community, and a happier tomorrow. The National Bank of the Virgin Islands.
Everyone looks to the future, but no one truly knows what the future holds.
The number of people under the age of 20 with type 2 diabetes could increase by 49% by 2050. Let it be known that we all have a 30% chance of developing hypertension.
Globally, more than 300 million people of all ages suffer from depression.
More than 60,000 young adults aged 20 to 39 are diagnosed with cancer each year.
Obesity leads to problems such as stroke, heart disease, and kidney failure.
No matter your race, age, or color, we are all at risk.
These diseases can be managed or prevented if caught early.
But with the right medicine and the right doctors to keep us on a path to live a robust and healthy life,
we will live well.
There are many ways to enjoy life, like so many ways to count on Popular.
Plug into Digicel Plus and get even more entertainment with Disney Plus included. The best of Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and National Geographic all in one place. Whenever you want, plug into Plus to enjoy Disney Plus and much more with a home fiber bundle. Sign up today. Digicel Plus.